Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, focusing on the top 7 most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins. These coins aren't just spare change. They could be worth a fortune. Let's explore which quarters have captured collectors' attention and why. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of U.S. coins and shining the spotlight on the 1988 Washington quarter dollar. This coin might just be sitting in your pocket change, but don't be too quick to spend it. Some of these coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition, errors, and rarity. Let's uncover the secrets behind this unassuming yet historic coin. First, let's explore the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design by John Flanagan features a profile of Washington on the obverse side, with the word liberty above, the date below, and the motto "In God We Trust" to the left. On the reverse side, you'll see a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches. The 1988 P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That's what the P mint mark stands for. In that year, over 562 million Washington quarters were produced at the Philadelphia facility alone. That's a big number, so you might be wondering, how can a coin that common be worth more than face value? Well, the answer lies in several key areas: mint errors, high-grade condition, and collector demand. Let's talk about condition first. Most quarters from 1988 were used in daily transactions, which means they show signs of wear. But if you come across a 1988 P quarter that looks almost brand new, it might be worth a closer look. Coins graded in mint state 65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can fetch a premium. In fact, a 1988 P quarter graded MS67 by PCGS has sold at auction for over $400. And that's just for the quality of the strike and the shine of the metal, no rare errors involved. Now let's get into the real treasure hunt. The rare error coins. One of the most valuable types of 1988 P Washington quarters includes those with dramatic mint errors. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchets entirely. For example, a 1988 P quarter with a noticeable double die on the obverse, where parts of the lettering appear doubled, can be worth hundreds. An off-center error where the design is clearly misaligned can also bring in anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on how dramatic the error is. Even more valuable are transitional errors. These occur when a coin is struck using materials or dies meant for another year or denomination. While no confirmed major transitional errors have been officially recorded for the 1988 P quarter, it's always possible for new discoveries to come to light. So if you think you have something unusual, get it checked by a professional. Another area that can increase the coin's value is if it is struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a quarter-sized coin struck on a dime or foreign coin blank. That kind of mistake can make your coin incredibly rare and valuable. These errors are hard to find, but they can sell for several $1,000s at auction. Now let's break down the current market values for the 1988 P Washington quarter. If you have a regular circulated coin, it's generally worth just face value, 25 cents. However, if the coin is in very fine or extremely fine condition, some collectors might pay a small premium, perhaps up to $1. Uncirculated examples in mint state 60 to 64 can be worth $5 to $20. Higher grade coins, especially those in MS66 or MS67, can bring in significantly more, $100 to $500 or more depending on market demand. And of course, any verified error coin can be worth hundreds or even thousands. So it pays to look closely. Here's a tip for collectors. Always check your coins under magnification. A simple jeweler's loupe or even a good smartphone camera can help you spot doubling, die cracks, or other anomalies. Compare your coin to known varieties and reach out to reputable grading services if you think you've found something special. Let's not forget about proof coins. While the 1988 P quarter was not struck as a proof at the Philadelphia Mint, proof quarters were made at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark. These proof coins are specially made for collectors with mirror-like finishes and are not meant for circulation. A 1988 S proof quarter in pristine condition can be worth a few dollars, and even more in perfect proof grades like PR70.SO. What's the takeaway? The 1988 P Washington quarter is a modern coin with a very common mintage, but don't overlook it. With the right grade, error, or condition, this coin could be worth far more than 25 cents. Every coin has a story, and every collector knows the thrill of finding that one rare gem in a sea of ordinary change. So check your pockets. Look through your jars, and don't ignore those quarters. You never know, you might just have a valuable piece of history sitting right in front of you. We're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures, specifically one that might just be sitting in your change jar right now. We're talking about the 1983 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that, at first glance, seems ordinary but can be worth a small fortune under the right conditions. Most of us have handled Washington quarters without giving them a second thought. They've been in circulation since 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. But when it comes to the 1983 Denver Mint quarter, there's more than meets the eye. This isn't just pocket change. It could be a ticket to big money, and here's why. First, let's set the stage. In 1982 and 1983, the United States Mint did not produce official mint sets. This was due to cost-saving measures during a time of economic struggle. Because of this, collectors were not able to acquire pristine, uncirculated coins directly from the mint as they usually would. That means that the majority of 1983 quarters that exist today were put into circulation and used in everyday transactions. The result? Most of these coins are worn, scratched, and far from perfect condition. So what makes the 1983 Washington quarter so special? It's all about rarity and condition. If you can find a 1983 quarter in mint state, and by that I mean brilliant, uncirculated condition, often graded MS65 or higher, it could be worth far more than 25 cents. In fact, depending on its quality, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But there's more. One of the most valuable versions of the 1983 quarter is one that has what's known as a double die error or a struck-through-grease error. These minting errors occur when the die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned or damaged. This can result in letters that appear doubled, missing details, or distorted features. These types of errors make the coin not only rare but extremely valuable to collectors. In one famous case, a 1983 Washington quarter graded MS67 by PCGS sold for over $1,800. That's right, over $1,800 for a single quarter. And that's just for one in exceptional condition without any dramatic errors. Coins with unique features, striking mistakes, or high-quality toning can command even higher prices, so let's talk about what to look for. When examining a 1983 quarter, pay close attention to the lettering. Look at the word Liberty. If it appears soft or incomplete, or if the letters look doubled or unusually thick, you might be looking at an error coin. Also examine the date and the word quarter dollar on the reverse side. Some coins show signs of die cracks, cuds, or other anomalies that boost their value significantly. Another factor to watch for is the coin's luster. Quarters in brilliant, uncirculated condition have a shiny, almost mirror-like surface that reflects light beautifully. These are the ones collectors want the most. If you think you've got one in good shape, it's worth having it professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. This can increase its value dramatically and open the door to serious coin collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. Now let's touch on the current market value. As of this year, 2025, prices continue to rise for high-grade and rare error 1983 quarters. The market for collectible coins is hot, and more people are realizing the value of coins they might already have. A typical 1983 quarter in average circulated condition is still just worth face value, 25 cents. But once you hit mint state grades like MS65 or higher, you could be looking at anywhere from $75 to several hundred, depending on the eye appeal and sharpness of the strike. Coins with dramatic errors can fetch even more. Some collectors have paid over $3,000 for extremely rare variations. It's like hitting a jackpot, but it all starts with looking closely at the change in your pocket. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1983 quarter? First, handle it carefully. Avoid touching the surface with your bare fingers. Use gloves if you can. Store it in a protective holder or flip to avoid damage. Then, take clear, close-up photos of the coin and research similar examples that have sold at auction. Look at grading sites and completed sales on platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Great Collections. This will give you an idea of what your coin could be worth in today's market. You might even consider having the coin graded and authenticated, especially if it looks like it could be in excellent condition. Grading adds credibility and can significantly boost your coin's resale value. And remember, even if you don't find a treasure in your pocket today, it pays to stay curious. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprises. What seems like an ordinary coin can turn out to be a collector's dream. The 1983 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and condition can transform a simple piece of metal into something truly valuable. If you're into rare coins, U.S. Mint history, or just love learning about the hidden treasures you might find in your pocket change, then you're going to want to stick around for this one. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1999 quarter dollar and the statehood series beginning with 1788 Georgia, New Jersey, Connecticut, and other quarters, coins that, in some cases, can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. Now, before we get started, hit that like button if you enjoy rare coin content and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Let's jump into IT.IN 1999. The U.S. Mint launched one of the most ambitious and successful coin programs in American history, the 50-state quarters program. This began with 5 states: Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. These quarters were unique in design, symbolic of each state's heritage, and carried the 1999 mint year. Each of these quarters also included the year the state entered the Union, and that's where you see coins marked with dates like 1788. For example, Georgia became the 4th state on January 2, 1788, and its state quarter carries that historical year. The mint year, 1999, is placed separately under the motto E pluribus unum. But what makes some of these coins, particularly those marked with a P for the Philadelphia Mint, so valuable? Let's explore. The mint mark on a quarter tells you where it was produced. In 1999, these quarters were minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. P stands for Philadelphia, D stands for Denver, and coins marked with an S came from San Francisco, typically in proof sets. The most common circulation quarters came from Philadelphia and Denver, but that doesn't mean they're worthless. In fact, some of these coins, especially from Philadelphia, feature unique errors that collectors go crazy for. Let's start with the 1999 P Delaware quarter, the very first state quarter ever issued. One of the most valuable versions is the spitting horse error. This happens when a die crack extends from the horse's mouth, making it look like it's spitting. Coins with this error in mint state condition can sell for anywhere between $20 and $100, sometimes even more depending on the grade. Next, the 1999 P Georgia quarter. This one is popular not just because of the state's history, but also due to a few well-documented die adjustment strike errors and off-center strikes. While the standard Georgia quarter may only be worth its face value, error versions in high condition have sold for $50 to $300. Then we have the 1999 P New Jersey quarter. While it doesn't have as many known errors as Delaware or Georgia, high-grade examples certified by PCGS or NGC in MS67 or higher can sell for over $100. That's right. A quarter you might find in change could be worth 400 times its face value. Connecticut's 1999 P quarter also deserves a mention. It features the charter oak tree, a symbol of American independence. Collectors love this design, and any quarters with doubling or mistruck features, such as off-center strikes or clipped planchets, can also fetch top dollar. So why are these 1999 P quarters so special compared to later state quarters? Simple, they were the first. When the program launched, the U.S. Mint was still getting used to the new production process for these state-specific designs. Because of this, there was a higher occurrence of minting errors, especially from the Philadelphia Mint. And in the world of coin collecting, the first issues of a major series are always in higher demand. Additionally, over 900 million Delaware quarters were minted, but the percentage that are in pristine, uncirculated condition is incredibly low. That scarcity drives up prices among collectors looking for the best specimens. So what are these coins actually worth today? Let's take a look at the current market value for some of these coins in 2025. A regular 1999 P Delaware quarter in circulated condition is worth 25 cents. But a high-grade MS67 version recently sold for over $250. And if it has the spitting horse error, that value can climb to $400 or more depending on demand. 1999 P Georgia quarters in MS MS-66 or MS-67 condition are typically valued between $60 and $120. Error versions, especially those with double dies or dramatic off-center strikes, can command $150 to $500 at the 1999 New Jersey quarter in MS-68 condition, which is extremely rare, has crossed the auction block for over $400. Keep in mind, grading fees and certification from reputable services like PCGS or NGC can add legitimacy and help boost the sale price. And don't forget proof coins. Although most proof coins came from San Francisco, a few Philadelphia minted 1999 quarters were mistakenly struck on proof planchets. These are extremely rare and can sell for thousands if authenticated. So what should you look for? First, check the mint mark. You're looking for the letter P on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail. Next, examine the coin for any visible errors, especially die cracks, doubling, misalignments, or unusual strikes. If you think you've found something rare, your next step is to get it professionally graded. Submit it to PCGS or NGC, two of the top coin grading companies in the world. A certified grade significantly increases the trust and value of your coin.to wrap-up. The 1999 P and 1,788 marked state quarter dollars are more than just small pieces of metal. They're living pieces of American history. And if you know what to look for, they could be worth big money. So dig through your change jar, check those coin rolls, and don't dismiss those state quarters too quickly. That 25-cent piece could be a hidden treasure. We're diving into one of the most talked about coins in the modern era of U.S. coin collecting, the year 2000 P South Carolina state quarter. It's a coin that millions have touched, but only a few know its true potential value. Some of these quarters are worth far more than 25 cents. In fact, certain rare examples have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Stay tuned as we uncover the coin's origin, what makes it special, how to identify valuable errors, and what collectors are currently paying in today's market. Let's start with a little background on the year 2000. As part of the 50 state quarters program initiated by the U.S. Mint, South Carolina was honored as the 8th state to be featured. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 742 million of these quarters. A massive mintage. That means these coins are common in circulation. But here's the twist. Within that ocean of coins, a small number were struck with mint errors and variations that turned an everyday coin into a sought-after collectible. So how do you spot the difference? Let's break it down. Scene. Zoomed-in visuals of a 2000 P South Carolina quarter, pointing out features. The obverse, or front, features the familiar portrait of George Washington. But the reverse is where South Carolina is represented proudly. You'll see the state outline, a palmetto tree, the Carolina wren, and a yellow jessamine flower. At the bottom is the date 2000 and the mint mark P, to indicate it was struck in Philadelphia. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There are three major things that can dramatically increase the value of this coin. Number 1, die errors. Look for coins with doubling, off-center strikes, or filled dies. One of the most famous errors from this series is the off-center strike error, where the coin is not properly aligned when struck. Some examples of off-center errors from this series have sold for $150 to $300 depending on the percentage of misalignment and visibility of the date. Number 2, the so-called extra leaf variety. While this variety is more famously associated with the 2004 Wisconsin quarter, collectors have reported unusual die gouges or marks near the palmetto leaves on the South Carolina quarter. While not confirmed as an official variety, these anomalies have caught collector interest. Unique examples with dramatic die breaks or gouges have fetched over $100 in online marketplaces. Number 3, high-grade condition. This is key. Coins that are graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, especially those with full luster and no visible contact marks, can sell for significant premiums. As of today, a 2000 P South Carolina quarter graded MS-68 by PCGS is worth up to $1,000 at auction due to its rarity in such pristine condition. Let's talk about current market value. Most circulated 2000 P quarters are worth face value 25 cents. However, if your coin is in near-perfect condition, uncirculated, or has a unique error, it could be worth considerably more. Recent sales show MS-67 examples selling between $60 to $125, MS-68 examples hitting between $800 and $200, Major error coins selling from $100 to as high as $350 depending on the severity and rarity of the error. The key here is grading. Professional third-party grading companies like PCGS and NGC are your best bet if you believe you have a mint state or error coin. Keep in mind, not all shiny coins are worth grading, but coins with no contact marks and full mint luster are worth a closer look. Now, you might be wondering, should you search for these quarters? Absolutely. The best part? These quarters are still in circulation. You can find them in pocket change, at coin shows, or in old coin jars at home if you want to give yourself the best chance. Check old bank rolls, look at family coin collections, visit local coin shops and estate sales, and always inspect the coin under good lighting with a 10x magnifying glass. You'll be amazed what your eyes can miss. The 2000p South Carolina quarter is mostly common, but not always. Error coins and high-grade examples are worth money. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, and unusual marks. Certified MS-68 examples can sell for over $1,000. Always check your change. You never know what treasure lies in your pocket. That wraps up our deep dive into the 2000p South Carolina quarter. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of our weekly coin videos. If you love coins, currency, and treasure hunting, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a video. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about state quarters of the 21st century, the 2005p Kansas State Quarter. Yes, the one with the buffalo on the back. It might look ordinary, but this coin could be hiding a huge payday. So why is this coin from your pocket change turning heads in the coin collecting world? How much can it actually be worth? And what makes some of these coins worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? Stick around because you might just find one of these hidden treasures sitting in your coin jar right now. First, let's talk a little about the history. In 2005, the U.S. Mint released the Kansas State Quarter as part of the 50 State Quarters program. This one honored the Sunflower State and featured a majestic American bison standing in a prairie landscape, along with a sunflower, the state flower of Kansas. Over 263 million of these quarters were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is what the P stands for. So yes, it's common, but not all 2005p Kansas quarters were created equal. Some of them contain rare and valuable errors that turn this everyday coin into something truly special. Let's get into the most famous and valuable error of the 2005p Kansas quarter, the "In God We Rust" error. This happened due to grease or debris clogging the die during the minting process, which led to the letter T in the word trust being partially or completely missing. So instead of reading "In God We Trust," the coin literally says, "In God We Rust." Collectors go wild for this one. Why? Because it's a dramatic and eye-catching mint error that occurred on a mass-produced coin. It's quirky, it's ironic, and it's extremely collectible. Depending on the condition of the coin, "In God We Rust" quarters can sell anywhere from $50 all the way up to $500 or more. And that's just for circulated versions. Mint state examples, those in pristine uncirculated condition, can go for even higher, sometimes over $1,000. Now, the "In God We Rust" isn't the only error you need to know about. Other error types found on the 2005p Kansas quarter include die cracks. These appear as raised lines across the coin and happen when the minting die begins to break. Cuds. This is when part of the die breaks off entirely, leaving a blob of metal on the coin. Off-center strikes. If the coin wasn't struck exactly in the middle, you'll see parts of the design missing or shifted. These can bring in $100 or more depending on how far off-center it is. Double die errors. These are coins that show doubling on parts of the design or lettering, and can sell for hundreds if dramatic and clear. Each of these errors adds numismatic value, especially when combined with good condition and eye appeal. Now let's talk about condition because it matters. Coin collectors and dealers use a grading scale to determine the value of a coin. The scale goes from poor, P1, all the way to mint state 70, MS70. Most valuable Kansas error quarters are graded MS63 or higher. Coins with no wear, strong luster, and no scratches will always bring higher prices. So, if you think you've got a valuable one, make sure you protect it right away. No more letting it rattle around in your car's cup holder. You might want to get it graded by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. Yes, there's a fee involved, But for the right coin, it can dramatically increase its value and buyer confidence. Let's talk numbers. Real recent sales in 2024. A high-grade 2005 Kansas quarter with the In God We Rust error, graded MS67 by PCGS, sold for over $1,200 in an online auction. Another ungraded example sold on eBay for $375, even though it had some signs of circulation. More subtle grease errors and die cracks routinely sell for $20 to $75, and sometimes more when grouped together in bulk lots. Demand for these error coins has surged in recent years due to increased interest from younger collectors and social media influencers spotlighting coins you can find in your change. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube have created a new generation of treasure hunters, and that's pushing up prices for unique error coins like these. So how can you find one of these valuable quarters? Check your change. That's step 1. Also, go through rolls of quarters from your bank. Ask for a $10 or $20 roll and sort through them with a magnifying glass. Look especially closely at the word trust and see if that T is weak, faded, or missing entirely. You should also look at the coin's surface for cracks, doubling, or other abnormalities. It takes a bit of patience, but the thrill of discovery is unmatched, especially when you realize you just found a $500 coin in a pile of spare change. So, is the 2005 Kansas quarter rare? Not in general, but certain error varieties, especially the In God We Rust and high-grade examples, are extremely valuable and sought after. Next time you get a handful of quarters, don't just toss them in a jar or vending machine. Take a close look. That little coin could turn into big money. If you found this video helpful or interesting, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've ever come across a 2005 Kansas quarter, especially one with a mint error. We explore the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures hiding right in your pocket change. Today we're diving deep into the story of two incredible coins that collectors everywhere are buzzing about. I'm talking about the 2008 D quarter dollar and the iconic 1912 quarter. These coins are not just pieces of metal, they're living pieces of American history, and depending on what you've got in your collection, they could be worth thousands of dollars. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how much your coins could be worth today in the current market. Let's start with the 2008 D quarter dollar. This coin was part of the state quarters program, which ran from 1999 through 2008. It featured unique designs representing all 50 states, and in 2008, the U.S. Mint released the final 5. Those were Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, Alaska, and Hawaii. The D Mint mark means it was minted in Denver, and while millions were produced, there are rare errors and varieties that make some of these coins incredibly valuable. One example is the 2008 D Arizona quarter. Some of these were struck with a die clash or have extra cactus leaves covering part of the designer's initials. That little detail turns a common coin into a rare find worth hundreds of dollars to the right collector. A normal 2008 D Arizona quarter might be worth just face value, 25 cents. But with the die break or double die variety, the value can jump up to $50, $100, or more depending on its condition and grading. Next up, we've got the 2008 D Alaska quarter, and here's where it gets interesting. There's a known variety where the bear appears to have an extra claw. It's called the extra claw variety, and it's a fan favorite among error coin hunters. A clean example of this variety in uncirculated condition has sold for over $150. Just think about that, a coin that looks like any other in your change could be a hidden gem. Now let's rewind a little further into the past, over 100 years ago to 1912, the year the Titanic sank and the world changed forever. In that same year, the U.S. Mint was still producing the Barber quarter, designed by Charles E. Barber. These quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, so if your coin has no mint mark, it was struck in Philadelphia. A D means Denver and an S means San Francisco. Here's the thing. Any 1912 Barber quarter is going to have some collectible value, especially if it's in decent condition. But the ones to really look out for are the low mintage Denver and San Francisco issues. The 1912 S in particular is highly sought after because it had a mintage of just over 700,000. Compare that to modern quarters that are minted in the hundreds of millions. That's a huge difference, and it means that surviving specimens are in limited supply. Let's talk numbers. A heavily circulated 1912 S quarter might fetch around $30 to $50, depending on how worn it is. But in higher grades, say very fine, extremely fine, or even mint state, you're talking serious money. In mint state condition, a 1912 S can sell for over $1,000. One example, graded MS65 by PCGS, sold for over $3,000 at auction. The 1912D isn't as rare as the San Francisco Mint, but it's still valuable. You can expect a similar pricing curve. Circulated examples bring in $40 to $60, and mint state coins can cross into the multiple hundreds. And remember, collectors are always looking for original coins with good eye appeal, so luster, strike quality, and toning all play into the value. Now let's compare the market value of these two coins, the 2008 D quarters and the 1912 Barber quarters, in today's numismatic world. On the modern side, error coins and varieties are fueling the value. Collectors love hunting for them. They're modern treasures. With the older coins, it's about scarcity, history, and condition. Current market data from early 2025 shows that high-grade 2008 D error quarters, particularly with double dies or dramatic die breaks, are selling between $100 to $400 depending on grading. PCGS and NGC have graded only a few in top condition, which adds to their appeal and value. Meanwhile, the 1912S and 1912D Barber quarters in XF to MS grades continue to appreciate steadily. The average market value for a certified AU 1912S is hovering around $400 to $600. Mint state examples, if you can find one, almost always go above $1,000. That's a solid investment grade coin right there. So what does all this mean for you? It means that even in your everyday change or old family coin jar, there could be serious value waiting to be discovered. Check your quarters, especially those 2008 DS. Look for the small details, the extra claw on the Alaska coin, the cactus covering initials on the Arizona coin, and any strange doubling or clash marks. And if you happen to inherit or own older coins, dig into the Barber quarters. Those 1912D and 1912S coins could be hiding in plain sight. And with the price of silver rising and demand from collectors climbing year after year, these coins are only going to become more desirable. Before we wrap up, here's a tip. If you think you've found a valuable coin, don't clean it. Cleaning can reduce the value dramatically. Instead, get it looked at by a reputable coin dealer or consider submitting it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. That professional certification can give you the confidence you need to sell or hold for the long term. So there you have it, two coins. One from 2008 and one from 1912, each with the potential to be worth far more than face value. Whether you're a new collector, a treasure hunter, or just curious about what might be hiding in your change jar, I hope this video gave you some insights and excitement to start searching. We are diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet potentially valuable modern coins in circulation, the 2016 quarter dollar with the Denver Mint mark, also known as the 2016 D quarter. Most people pass these coins by without a second glance, but what if I told you that some of these coins are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and error varieties? So make sure you stay with me until the end of this video, because we are not only exploring the story behind these coins, but we are also breaking down the most valuable 2016 D quarters sold at auction and what you need to look for in your pocket change today. The 2016 quarters were released as part of the America the Beautiful series, a special program launched by the U.S. Mint in 2010. Each year, 5 new quarters were released, featuring designs that celebrate national parks, monuments, and historic sites from across the country. In 2016, the U.S. Mint released 5 designs. Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, Cumberland Gap National Historical Park in Kentucky, Harpers Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia, Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, Fort Moultrie, also known as Fort Sumter, in South Carolina. Each of these coins was struck at multiple U.S. Mint locations, including Philadelphia, San Francisco, and the Denver Mint, marked by a small D on the front of the coin. Now you might be wondering, why does the D Mint mark make a difference? Well, the Denver Mint is one of the 2 major facilities responsible for circulating coinage, and depending on production numbers, die conditions, and quality control, coins from Denver can have specific varieties that are not found elsewhere. Some of the most sought-after 2016 D quarters are valuable not because they are rare in terms of mintage, but because of mint errors, die varieties, and their condition. That's where the real money is. Let's talk about the moneymakers, error coins, and varieties. Here are some of the most notable ones from the 2016 D series. The 2016 D shiny quarter has been found with a double die reverse, especially visible on the lettering and tree textures. Some of these coins have sold for upwards of $250 in high mint state. The Cumberland Gap design from Denver has shown multiple die chips and cuds, especially around the gun and the word first. Depending on the size and location of the die chip, collectors have paid between $50 to over $150 for these errors. The Harper's Ferry quarter has a known double die on the reverse, affecting the windows of the building and roof line. A sharp eye can turn this 25-cent coin into a $300 payday. On the Theodore Roosevelt D mint coin, look for strike-through errors and off-center strikes. These types of errors are rare but have fetched between $100 to $400 depending on grade and severity. Finally, Fort Moultrie quarters with retained die breaks or die clash errors are also in demand. Some have been auctioned for over $200. Even if you don't find a dramatic error, the condition of your 2016 D quarter can greatly affect its value. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher can sell for serious money. For example, in 2020, a 2016 D Fort Moultrie quarter in MS68 condition sold at Heritage Auctions for $660. That's 2,600 times its face value. Most circulated coins are worth face value or slightly above, but uncirculated coins with a strong strike, no wear, and no contact marks are gold mines for collectors. So how can you find these valuable 2016 D quarters? The good news is that they're still out there in circulation. Here's what to do: check your change. It sounds obvious, but many people overlook this free method. Visit banks and ask for rolls of quarters. You can search through them and return what you don't need. Go to coin shows and flea markets. Sometimes sellers don't realize the errors they have. Use a jeweler's loupe or digital microscope to check for doubling, die chips, or other errors. Look for coins with sharp detail and no visible wear. The better the condition, the better the chance you've got something valuable. As of this year, here's what some of these coins are fetching on the market. Common 2016 D quarters in circulated condition are still worth face value, 25 cents. Minor errors can fetch $10 to $50. Major errors like off-center strikes, dramatic doubling, or strike-throughs can sell between $100 and $500. High-grade certified examples graded MS68 or above are selling for between $250 and $1,000 depending on the design. The highest known value for a 2016 D quarter was for a Fort Moultrie MS68 example, which hit the market at $660. But if a perfect MS69 or error coin in perfect condition ever surfaces, it could easily break the $1,000 mark. So here's the takeaway. Don't overlook your spare change. The 2016 D quarters might look ordinary, but some of them are treasures waiting to be discovered. Focus on the 5 designs from 2016, look for die errors, doubling, off-center strikes, and always pay attention to condition. And remember, every valuable coin ever found started with someone simply paying attention. If you learned something new today, or if you're ready to start hunting for rare quarters, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Comment below and let us know what the most valuable coin in your collection is. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and until next time, keep searching because the next big coin could be in your pocket right now.